How do you make a helicopter fly fast? A lot of times people ask me, how does the helicopter, the HX50, fly at 140 knots cruise speed? It's actually not that hard of a problem to answer, and I'm going to give you a bunch of different reasons right now as to why that's the case. You know, actually interesting, a lot of people haven't really talked about the Gazelle being a really fast helicopter, which also flies right around 140 knots. This has a drag coefficient that's much, actually, I'm not going to give you the exact amount, but much less than the Gazelle. And I'm going to go over some different features of what actually makes a helicopter fast, or in the inverse, what actually makes a slow helicopter. So here's some different features. Believe it or not, actually 30% of your drag comes from the exposed rotor head. Most helicopters have a rotor head that's exposed with pitch links, swash plates, all different sorts of things that are up there. And those things spinning around, they're causing a lot of drag while you're flying. So something that Hill has done is they've actually cowled this in with the donut that's up top. That actually, by the way, is you can actually inspect in there. These cowlings here, right here, you're going to be able to open up, and then you're going to be able to look right up underneath, and actually everything's totally visible. That's just a side note, because a lot of people say, well, you can't actually see in there, so how do you do a pre-flight inspection? You're going to have full visibility into there. But anyways, by cowling that all in, we've actually been able to reduce the drag on the rotor head by about 30%. Just give me 30 seconds of your time. I want to invite you to the Hill Helicopters exclusive presentation. This is a presentation that Ruben and I do online. It takes 30 minutes, and we walk you through all the details, the specs, the performance of the helicopter, as well as the development stage that we're at. And at the end of the presentation, we give you an opportunity to pre-order the aircraft now under special conditions. If you want to book one, just go to hillhelicopters.com/schedule, and I'll see you there. The other thing is having the retractable landing gear. Another 30% or so of the drag comes from the undercarriage. You can see on that version there, we have the skid version for people that need to have skids for utility purposes, etc. That helicopter is going to be flying about 15 knots slower than this one. So just that difference right there between having the conventional skids and the retractable landing gear, again, about 30% of the drag of the helicopter comes from the undercarriage. So if you can clean that up, you can get those wheels retracted and clean up the whole belly, then you can reduce that drag as well. So that's one thing. If you choose to go with that version, expect it to fly about 15 knots slower, around 125 knots is what we're saying for the skid version. Also just having a nice clean design. Something that a lot of helicopters have is a lot of exposed screws, rivets, etc. And so cleaning all of that up and just getting the main airframe of the helicopter to be a much cleaner design allows the wind to flow over that a lot easier as well. Something, just going back to the skids, that's interesting to know, actually back in the 60s, Bell did an experiment with the Huey, and they actually fared in a lot of the different components. They made it a little bit more aerodynamic or streamlined on the top of the helicopter, streamlined the skids, so they put fairings on the skids, and they actually improved the speed, the cruise speed of that helicopter dramatically. They actually got it close to that 140 knots as well for a Huey, which is a very big and draggy helicopter. And then the same thing when we go to the back of the aircraft, having this enclosed tail rotor, so the ducted fan, allows you to reduce the drag that's flowing over the back of the aircraft as well. And then also the design. We've got the big horizontal stabilizer, the vertical fin. One of the things that we've done with the tuning of the aircraft is when it's in forward flight, normally a helicopter in forward flight has the nose pitched quite a bit down. And that, if you're thinking about the aircraft like this, you pitch the nose down, all of a sudden you've got a huge face that's going to be flying into the wind, and you're actually dragging that big face of the aircraft through that wind. And so by leveling the aircraft out, this aircraft, when it's in cruise flight, is going to be pretty much completely level. And so it's more like a bullet going through the air, where the nose is going to be piercing through that wind first, and then the rest of the airstream, the air gets to flow right over it. That also reduces the drag. So there's lots of things that we've done. Just, you know, you can think of them as subtle things, but they're actually huge factors. They make a huge difference in the overall, the speed and the aerodynamics of the aircraft. So simple video today, just talking about speed. How were we able to get the cruise speed up to 140 knots? That's how we do it. If you wondered, now you can tell other people about it too. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you on the next one.